Plaintiff John Davidson is suing the defendants for the value of 2 puppies and emotional distress. John says the defendants claimed his German Shepherd killed their 2 puppies, but he now believes they made it up to scam him out of money. Defendants Danita Russell and Nathan Feeder say the plaintiff's dogs did in fact kill their puppies, and they cannot believe how insensitive the plaintiff was when he attempted to dig up the puppies' graves.
All rise. The Honorable Judge Jeanine Pirro presiding. You may be seated.
John Davidson is suing Danita Russell and Nathan Feeder for the value of 2 puppies and emotional distress. How are you today?
Very good, thank you.
And who is with you today?
This will be my wife and my son.
Your wife's name?
Sherry Davidson.
Sherry. And your son's name?
Chris Davidson.
Chris. Okay. All right, John, why are you suing the defendants?
Your Honor, they have accused me of having my 2 German Shepherds kill 2 Doberman Pinscher 10-week-old puppies in front of them. I don't even know these defendants. Before December 23rd, 2008, I had no contact with them. But everything about them, Your Honor, is fake.
Are they neighbors, or how is this happening?
They live about a quarter of a mile away from us on a separate street within the same area that we live in the rural area that we're from.
All right, so you're saying that you had Doberman Pinscher puppies?
Yes. Yep.
Okay, yes. And tell me what happened?
Their shepherds were loose, running around the neighborhood, and they came into our yard. And she let the puppies out that I was purchasing for my daughter, and the dogs came down the driveway, and the mother dog attacked the puppies.
Your Honor, that's a lie.
Step up here,
That
Chris.
is not a lie.
That's not a lie?
No, that is
all right,
the
now
truth.
wait a minute. Talk to me, Chris.
It's 10 o'clock in the morning. I get a frantic phone call. It says, I have all the name and of my dog and my number is on all the tags. So I get the phone call at 10 o'clock in the morning. I get this frantic phone call from Snake that says, From Snake.
His name is Snake?
His alias is Snake, as we find out. Is
You didn't
Nathan
know him
Feeder.
at the time.
His nickname.
His nickname is Snake. So that's who I'm going to address him as
Where'd you
Snake.
get that nickname?
Years ago, high school.
Okay.
So I get a phone call that says, your 2 German Shepherd puppies just brutally murdered my 2 dogs right in front of me.
Well, for one, your German Shepherds are adult German Shepherds.
No. See, I have a 9-month-old German Shepherd puppy who came with her mother.
Okay.
With his mother. So the puppies got out, our fault. They got out of our property. That is our fault. But Snake says, I took your dogs away because there was police up there and their people were extremely mad. So I got your dogs out of there so they didn't take them away.
That's not
so
true.
I came down to this other house to pick them up.
What other house?
He owns a tweaker house. This house is full of old deadbeat tractors. Very eerie feeling. I felt uncomfortable when I showed up to the house. There's unfinished tweaker projects everywhere. Unfinished little go-kart. I mean, there was dog...
What do you mean tweaker projects?
Tweaker projects, like you take a car apart and you never put it back together and half of it's sitting there in one pile, half of it's sitting there in the other.
So what you're saying is that he calls you and he said, I took your dogs that killed my 2 Doberman Pinscher puppies and I put them away so they wouldn't get in trouble?
Took them away from the scene of the crime, correct.
So you go and get the dogs.
So I come to this house to pick up the dogs because he says they're here. But he hands me this sheet with blood on it. Okay? This isn't your typical blood. My dog was in heat, and I had known this. And he tried to play the blood off this sheet as what he put the puppies in. The puppy that went along for the ride.
Is that why she got out? Because she was in heat?
She was in heat, and that's why she left the property.
She was looking for sex.
She is.
In all the wrong places, apparently.
So she got out. That's our fault.
Okay,
Yes.
so she gets out with her 9-month-old puppy.
Correct.
You get a phone call from these people you never seen or heard of.
and never heard.
And they say, don't come to the scene of the crime where your dogs killed our puppies, but come to another place where we took your dogs for protection because people are angry.
Correct.
What people are angry?
The owners, well, see, this is what they said. There was people at the house where this happened. Now, it was your puppies that he was supposedly buying for his daughter because he's a musician and he's from Colorado.
Right.
Later we find out he actually lives in that house. His name is on the mailbox, and he's been a resident for quite some time, and they are actually together.
Judge Pirro, could I
intervene
here?
Talk to me.
This is what happened. The dogs were out. There's kids all over the neighborhood. His dogs were running down the street, crazy, and, if they attack a kid or something like that, then what now, Anyways, the dogs, they came. She let the puppies outside.
What kind of puppies are these?
Can I show you the picture of the puppies?
It was a mother dog that just had puppies. She's not going to mix with another puppy anyways. So she naturally probably attacked
Oh, they're beautiful dogs.
the puppies.
They're also big dogs.
The one laying down, Your Honor, is Duke,
Oh, that's
and he
the
is
son.
9 months old.
That's the 9-month-old
That's the
dog.
9-month-old puppy.
Oof. Have there been complaints against you by the police department or anyone else or the sheriff's department of your dogs getting out?
No.
Have you ever been summoned to court because your dogs got out?
No.
What do you do to keep the dogs in a secure area? Those are big dogs, and I'm a dog lover, so believe me, I have no problem with big dogs.
Your Honor.
Yes.
We later determined that they pushed between two back gates off the back of our property and crawled underneath and went off to the back of the property, which is an open area of about 50 acres.
Tell me about the dogs, the Doberman Pinscher puppies.
The Doberman Pinschers?
I had Doberman Pinschers, by the way. I love those animals. But
Well,
what happened?
Here's what happened. He was there to purchase 2 puppies from me,
Yeah.
and all of a sudden I have the 2 puppies, the mom, Doberman.
Are you a breeder?
I wouldn't say that I'm a breeder, but I've had 3 litter of puppies.
All right. And did you advertise that the puppies were for sale?
Online, yes.
Okay. And so he comes
But
to
I've
purchase
known
the puppies?
him through,
I met her 8 years ago in Minneapolis. I was
Okay.
DJing a club.
Your Honor, that's a lie.
How do you
I was
know?
not. Well, what I was told from Danita, because of my experience in law enforcement,
What is your experience? What do you do?
I have 25 years with the Department of Corrections, and I'm a retired parole officer.
Okay.
I met my husband in prison. He's also got 27 years.
Was
in.
either one of you behind the bars?
We both were, but
Only
we
with
had a set of
keys.
keys.
Okay. All right.
good
So, all right.
So when we came up to the property, Your Honor, it did not feel right. It felt like parolee houses that I've gone to. And I went into my instinctive training, and John went and talked to Nathan, and I took Danita alone by my side for about 50 feet away because I wanted to get her story because it just didn't feel right. And at no time did Danita tell me there were 2 puppies because she kept saying $700.
Okay.
My son Chris and I then are speaking to Nathan separately, some 25, 30 feet away from where Danita is. First, we drive back to the property where the death occurred. There are no angry neighbors.
That's her property.
That is her residence, yes. That's
How
her
far is it from where you live?
A quarter of a mile.
Okay. All right. So it's a quarter of a mile on December 23rd.
Right.
What time did you leave?
About 10 o'clock,
What time did you get back?
12:30.
Well,
All right. Two and a half hours, right?
Correct.
When you left at 10 o'clock, where were the dogs?
On the property.
If they call you and they say, we want $700 because your dogs killed our puppies?
No, they have 2 different stories, Your Honor.
Okay.
My son Chris and I then are speaking to Nathan separately, and he is visibly upset. He has a very subdued personality. He's very quiet. He doesn't appear, his affect doesn't appear to go with the rage of having watched 2 puppy dogs be murdered in front of him.
That's exactly right, because I was with my
I saw-
daughter. My daughter witnessed the whole thing.
Well, how old
Your
was
Honor,
your
And he
daughter?
says there's a tweaker house, and I asked him, he
How old
knows
is your
this
daughter?
neighbor down there. And
You
he
know,
said
it's kind of important to listen to the judge.
I'm sorry.
Okay?
Yeah.
Because I'm going to decide.
Yeah, that's
and
fine.
I'll decide what facts I need to hear and what questions I need to have answered.
Right.
How old is your daughter?
My daughter is 17.
Was she there?
Your Honor.
She was there.
How did it happen?
She let the puppies out for my daughter to see, and the German Shepherds came running down the road. The girl German Shepherd grabbed one puppy and basically split it in 2.
Really?
next-
Where did she grab it?
I don't know. One dog was spinning circles. The other one was, I mean, it was a mess, you know?
Yeah.
And my daughter was screaming everything. It was a bad scene.
Yeah.
So,
Did you call the police?
no, actually, I tried to contact him right away.
So you're saying the female dog killed one of the Pinscher puppies, and what about the
Grabbed the
male?
other one and
Did
didn't
the
ragdoll
female
it
kill
up.
both of them?
Yes, yeah.
And what sex were the Doberman Pinscher puppies?
Male and a female.
They were male and female
Black and
also?
tans, yeah.
And how old were they?
10 weeks.
10 weeks? Okay. And nobody called the police? Nobody called the sheriff? Is that
Well,
correct?
we called the pound because they had tags, but they're not registered dogs.
Now,
So I called the pound.
You called the pound to what?
Yeah.
Find out where the dogs lived?
Well, you know, just to see if they're chipped or not or whatever, to find out where the owners
but
were.
weren't their names and the numbers on the tags?
But we weren't getting,
Yes.
we didn't get through to anyone.
So nobody answered.
Correct.
So at some
we
point,
didn't know
did
what
you
to
call
do.
them?
Yeah, it took me
Two
about an
German
hour to
Shepherds.
get the name tag off. One of the dogs had bit me in the car.
But let me
Yeah.
ask you a question. Wouldn't it have made sense if you were outraged that your puppies were killed by these two animals for you to call the police or the sheriff's department? Or
I
the
wasn't
ASPCA or the SPCA? Anybody? Did
Yeah,
you
the
call
pound.
anybody to document the
Yeah,
death
the
of
pound.
these two puppies?
Yes, the pound.
Okay, and where's the report from the pound?
I don't know if they give you a report.
Did you see the puppies that were killed?
No.
No.
Your
I would
Honor,
say hindsight.
Yeah,
Your Honor,
you would have done that.
May I add one
Yeah.
point to that? I received the emergency phone number for the animal control.
Yeah.
I, in fact, called them
Right.
and said, our dogs are accused of killing two puppies.
Right.
Is there any record of this? They said there's been no calls.
Judge Pirro, could I?
Yes.
Okay. They were at our home originally.
Right.
All this discussion took place. Okay.
Mainly
They-
the plaintiffs.
Mr. Davidson gave him a $1,400 check
Right.
in replacement of the puppies. Chris asked me what I needed for compensation for what happened, and I said, I'm not looking or asking for anything because I was paid for the puppies.
Right.
So really, why I'm even being named in this lawsuit, I don't even understand.
Well,
Because
what
I
did-
never asked
what
for
did you pay
anything.
them?
$1,400, Your Honor.
You actually gave them a check for $1,400?
Yes, we did.
When you didn't see the dead puppies and there was no report at animal control? And they took the dogs to this twilight zone? I thought you said you were cops with great instincts. Give me that.
I never asked for no reimbursement or nothing. Mr. Davidson came up to me as I was sitting in the car, freaking out, of course, and put a piece of paper on my shoulder and said, Nathan, I hope this makes up for Christmas, whatever. And I just said, hey, will somebody just follow me back to the house?
You know, Nathan, what doesn't make sense to me is that you said you were worried about these big dogs, and they are big dogs, but you were about to buy a couple of big dogs yourself, even though they were puppies, and the neighborhood and kids and this and that. Why wouldn't you have reported them if you were so concerned about kids in the neighborhood?
I did
Why is
report
your
them.
concern
I
more
did
for the
report
dogs than getting them to a neutral ground?
I didn't get them to a neutral ground. I left them in front of
The
their
Tweakers
neighbor's
place.
house.
Yeah.
In front of their neighbor's house. I didn't drive the dogs around. I couldn't even get back in the car. I tried to get back in the car and I got bit.
Talk to me. What else do you want to say?
Here's what happened, Your Honor. We believe that it was plausible, even though I'm talking to two sketchy people. And I think, yes, our dogs got out. I don't think they tried to get them off our property. They found their own way out. Is it possible that they could have done it? Yes, it's possible. Am I distraught about it? Yes. Am I hearing his story? It's 2 days before Christmas. I'm just torn up about this. Now I have two dogs that are dog killers. Now I'm thinking to myself, I got to put these dogs down because I'm not going to have this I'm not going to have these kind of animals around me. We get home. At that point, then my wife and my son and I are talking about our stories because we didn't hear what my wife was speaking to Danita about during this conversation. She was under the impression that it was only one dog. I was told by Nathan it was two puppies, and he told that same story to
It
Chris.
was two puppies, which I told him.
So, as a result, we go back, we have a discussion about this, and he said, you know what, this stinks. This is just too many holes in it. We're going to go back. So we go back to the property. I have a steel probe, and I have a shovel. And I'm thinking, if I killed these puppies, and I'm in the process of now going to have to put my own dogs down because they're dog killers, I'm going to find out for myself. So I probed the grave, which she had previously told us where the gravesite was.
Well, how far is the gravesite from where they're living?
500 feet on the same property.
So she actually identified the area where they buried the Doberman
specific
puppies.
location and
Okay,
told
when
us
you
that she
get
actually
there, what time do you get to their house?
This would have been about 1:30. We went
1:30.
an hour after we had left the property.
What time were the puppies killed?
It was mid-afternoon or something like that. I'm not exactly sure.
Okay.
They came back to the property, didn't even tell Donita that they were coming back, trespassed it, dug up in her grave of her other dogs, you know.
This
just
is
digging
what I would
around.
like to show you, Judge.
Yes.
I'm a dog lover as well. That's sacred to me.
All right, so you identified the grave site to the plaintiff.
Correct.
All right, and then you would go over there yourself with a probe and a shovel?
Yes,
Without
Your
my
Honor,
permission, they
I was
didn't
just
even
going to
come and
say,
knock
that's
on my
a problem,
door.
Mr. Law Enforcement.
we dug the exact location
You see
only,
nothing there. How deep did you dig?
approximately 18 inches.
And where did they tell you the actual killing took place?
In front of her house on the front steps, right 500 feet away
And
from
what are
that.
the front steps made of?
Cement.
Okay, good.
There's no
Did you
front
look at the
steps
front
there.
steps?
Yes.
Okay, good. That's it. What else you want to say, Danita? Where are the
Here.
dead puppies, though?
That's what I would like to know
Okay.
myself. I don't understand. They came back onto the property. They dug up. As far as I know, they took them.
Okay. Sit down, the rest of you. The issue for the court is very simple. Now, the interesting thing here is that you've got a German Shepherd, the mother, and a puppy. They get out. The plaintiffs don't deny that the dogs get out. Shame on you. You got big dogs that are capable of a lot of damage. What's curious to the court is that the money that the plaintiffs gave to the defendant, they gave to the defendant the $1,400 without any real evidence that there was a death. So the issue for the court is, were there 2 dead puppies? I don't believe for 1 minute that there was a dead puppy, let alone 2 dead puppies. I don't know where they are. They're not in the gravesite. You don't have a call to the police. You don't have a call to the sheriff. You don't have a call to the ASPCA. The front steps where the puppies were killed is not covered with blood. And he says now the puppies were killed in the mid-afternoon. And as far as this court is concerned, there were no dead dogs. You got taken, and you got taken a couple of days before Christmas, Mr. Law Enforcement.
Thank you.
You perpetrated a fraud. This is a lie.
Your Honor,
Everything
it's
about
not-
it is
it's
not
not-
true. I don't believe you for 1 second. I think the 2 of you were in on it. I think you had a scam cooking. You don't even know how the dogs were killed. And let me tell you something. A German Shepherd is not going to take a puppy and cut in half going for the neck. That's how they kill a dog.
Yeah,
And there would have been blood all over it.
exactly.
People would have been hysterical. And
Exactly.
you would have called
There
the
was.
cops if you were a dog lover, and you would have said, there are some killer German Shepherds in this town. Baby, there weren't. You're liable. So ordered. And don't pay money unless you owe it.